What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? I am your boy, Aaron Smith, and I hope y'all ready for the next episode of the Urban Trucker Podcast. We sat down with the Skidmores, right? Based out of Atlanta, Georgia, doing their thing, right? 16-phase diesel, first black-owned diesel shop, very innovative. They're doing some great work down there. 440 trucking as well, tapping into the whole reform movement inside of the prisons, which I love. Y'all know that's my passion, that's my thing. And so make sure y'all tune into that. Subscribe. Like, share, hit the notification button to make sure that y'all stay in tune for the Urban Trucker Podcast produced by Escaping the Odds Media. Once again, I am Aaron Smith. Tap in to me at @Aaron Smith on Instagram and Escaping the Odds Media on Instagram. Let's go.
With the influx of African American, Hispanic, and women into the trucking industry, the trucking industry has taken on a whole new look. We're here on the Urban Trucker Podcast to capture each and every story inside of each and every truck. We're seeing people from our very own community, single moms and the like, become very successful in the trucking business. That story of redemption, that story of overcoming the odds, that road to success that each and every individual took to be successful in the trucking business.
If you put the same amount of effort and hustle into everything else you do into the trucking industry, you're gonna make it.
Everybody want to be the boss, but they don't know the boss eat last.
I believe that everybody can make it in trucking, but it's the way you go.
I let my business take me where I want to go.
The trucking game has taken on a whole new look.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another dope episode of the Urban Trucker Podcast. I'm normally producer, but I'm rocking a new hat today, filling in for my main man, Ed Hennings. I got two dope individuals here today, husband and wife team, out of Georgia, Atlanta area. My brother Kevin Skidmore and Star. They're doing some phenomenal things down in Georgia in the trucking industry. She owns the first black-owned diesel shop. Man, you know, normally we think about, you know, greasy and just kind of like a place that most women don't want to be. But she's doing her thing with that. Kevin, he's running the trucking aspect of it. A total of 12 trucks, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Absolutely. So we're going to get into that. We'll get into the nuts and bolts of both businesses. And we're going to learn some things today and inspire. And hopefully somebody that's listening and watching, they can get some inspiration and get it cracking. What's going on? Thanks, folks, for coming through all the way from Atlanta. You said you was gonna come, man. You definitely held your word on it. Appreciate that, you know. And so yeah, I just want to get more into the whole business side of what you guys are doing. But before we get into that, just how you started. Like, where did 440 trucking come from?
All right, so 440 trucking comes from actually something that happened to me as a youth. I went to prison at the age of 16 for armed robbery. And in the state of Georgia, I was sentenced under Senate Bill 440, which is the juvenile crime bill that passed in '94. Actually, Biden passed that bill.
Oh, Biden.
In '94, that mandated that juveniles charged with one of the 7 deadly sins be charged as an adult.
Wow.
And then in 1995, they passed the Senate Bill 441, which mandated that for armed robbery, you get a mandatory 10 years. I was sentenced under both of those laws in April '95.
Okay.
So after doing my 10 years, I did the whole 10, no probation, no parole, ever. Wow. I got out, and my response to that was to create a company to help people like myself. It took me years and years to do it. I started off at a company, Trojan Battery, when I first got out, and I worked there for several years. And while I was there, as I began to ascend in life, I knew I always wanted more, wanted to be better and do better. So the first thing I started doing was getting around the right people. Right. So I kind of code switched. I changed how I dressed, how I talked, where I went, the activities I was in, to get in those right spaces with the right people so I could find out what they knew, because the people that I was around didn't know it. Yeah. So I had to get around people who did know. So, and once I did that code switching, changed a lot of my friends and stuff, I eventually ended up in management, and that's when I got introduced to trucking. And I don't have a CDL at all. I don't even know how to move none of my trucks.
Sound like me.
But I started the company to help individuals like myself, to give them an opportunity when they came home. You know, it's cool when they come home, hey, see you here, throw a party, whatever. I want to be able to give them an opportunity to give you a job. Like, if you want to get out and get your life together, I got somewhere for you to come. And I had to kind of be that solution, in the Atlanta area. So 440 Trucking was named after Senate Bill 440. That was my response to that bill. So I felt like, you want to give me 10 years, I'm going to give a whole bunch of people like myself jobs, and they ain't got to worry about 10 years no more.
And there you go.
So that's what birthed 440 Trucking, Senate Bill 440.
I love it, man. And so you got your beautiful wife. It's one thing to, have that personal relationship, but have that business relationship as well. And so, Ms. Star, as far as 16-phase diesel, you got a story behind that as well.
I do.
So what was how did you start out in the industry as a whole?
I started in the industry. Well, first off, I had to go all the way back in 2005 when that's where I gained and started in the automotive industry.
Okay.
I started there as a receptionist. Was promoted to a warranty administrator, and I continued that career in the automotive field.
Okay.
I was introduced into trucking by Kevin, and that's who helped me start my trucking company.
Okay.
And the biggest expense that I get with my trucks is the maintenance bill. So I started to think, like, what can I do how can I help myself on one end and still make money by doing it?
Yeah.
So that's how I came up with the diesel shop. I'm like, if I can take my own trucks to the diesel shop, then I can save on that labor.
Yeah.
I mean, parts too. You get everything it costs. So, but the name of it, the story behind of how the name of it came was when I was 16 years old, I became pregnant. And I thought that my life was over. Not knowing that it was actually really just beginning, not knowing, that responsibility that I had. But once I became pregnant, I'm like, okay, you know what, it's go time. It's no turning back. Yeah. I got to figure this out. Yeah. I have to, I have a whole human that I'm about to be taking care of. I'm about to be a mom. So I had to, I started changing my mindset. I started working. I first started off at Applebee's and all these little restaurants. And when I got into the automotive field, and that experience and that knowledge I gained there is how I'm able to put together this diesel shop. Because it's not going to be your typical mechanic shop where you come in, you speak to the mechanic, come in and take your truck, and it's greasy, it's dirty, you don't want to sit down. It's going to be a service center. Yeah. Very similar to what you would go to if you go to a dealership, Mercedes, BMW. You will talk to a service advisor, and that service advisor will write your ticket up, and they'll take it back there to our technicians. And we'll also have a diesel mechanic school for our returning citizens. When they come out, if they want to learn how to be a mechanic, they can come to our program where they'll learn and, they'll follow up behind technicians. They'll teach them how to, work on trucks, and we'll have a testing site upstairs where they can test out and stuff like that. So it's basically giving a lot of opportunities out there. Yeah,
no, I love it. No, I tell people all the time, like, just to have a for-profit business, you got to go beyond. There's a social responsibility attached to it, right? At least I think. And so for both of you all, the businesses you guys have, you're pouring back into the community, and that's important. And that takes you a long way. You know what I mean? Like, not like you're trying to do that for the positive reasons, maybe getting content, whatever, right? But it's just people see you in a different light when you're doing things like that. Another thing I like is that as a fleet owner, like, you don't have a CDL, right? I don't have a CDL, right?
Right.
You have a CDL?
Nope.
Right. And so for the audience to know that you can get in the trucking industry, you don't have to have a CDL. Although it may be a plus if you do, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's not impossible for you guys, for a person to make that happen. So I'm happy that, being able to kind of interview you guys and hear about just being a fleet owner without actually having that CDL and kind of inspire other people to do the same thing. Yeah, definitely. So, father nuts and bolts of the business, right? Of the diesel. I don't know anything about diesel mechanics, right? Even my own regular little car, I don't know nothing about. So, going, like, far as being in the automotive industry, that's where you pretty much got that experience. Do you do any kind of hands-on with it at all, or it's more so like a managerial role?
So it's more managerial. As a warranty administrator, which was my role when I worked in the dealership. Okay. That role is very close with the technicians. Okay. It's very close with the service manager, and the service advisors. Yeah. And your service manager is your core in running your service department, for when you come in to get service done on your vehicle, whether it's a truck or a car. Yeah. So by being close to them, I gained that experience, I gained that knowledge. Yeah. Running payroll for the technicians or learning, I know simple stuff, what could cause something, if it's let's say you have a code PO420, I know it's a catalytic converter. Okay. So there are certain things that I know.
That thing out.
And a lot of that, I gained that from in that experience in that environment. Yeah. So all of that knowledge that I got and the knowledge that I received from him on the trucking side, the automotive trucking, put it together for the diesel shop, that's all, that's like, it's golden. Yeah.
As a black woman, you feel like sometimes you have to assert yourself, especially in the trucking industry as a whole, but now you're in the trucking industry in the subsectors, like being a diesel mechanic shop, like being able to, like how do you battle with that, or how do you can control the narrative?
You just have to speak and hold your ground, and when you talk to them, let them know that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they'll challenge what I say because I'm a female.
Yeah.
But when you come out and you're talking like, I know what I'm speaking on, I know what I'm talking about, and you're not gonna push me down, then they'll gain your respect.
No, I love that. I love it. As we all know, that taking our cars to the shop would be expensive, right? And that's one of the first things I hear about, like with these semi trucks, is like that maintenance will knock your head off. You know what I mean? And so, but you're paying, a person is paying it, but the shop is receiving that money, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the profits or the profitability of a diesel mechanic shop, is that one of the things that kind of really motivated you as well to kind of open up this 16-phase diesel? Just seeing the numbers behind it?
Yes. Yes and no.
Okay.
I did see a great potential behind it, yes.
Okay.
For one, all the shops that we try to go to, they're behind about 2 or 3 weeks, 4 and 5 weeks. They're like, I can't even look at your truck until a few weeks. I couldn't even look at it.
Wow.
So, yes, seeing that all these shops, and I called multiple, they were all behind.
Yeah.
So, seeing that there's a demand out there, that was definitely another motivation. Yes. Because I see that demand. Like, I can't even find somewhere to take my trucks for the dependent mechanic. So, I mean,
everybody else is having a problem too.
That means that exactly. That means that I'm not the only one having that issue.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I also like that was a vertical integration move, man. Like, you got 12 trucks over here, and we already know maintenance costs is probably number one, number two cost. Like, wife, you go ahead, let's bust this thing open and let's make it happen. You know what I mean? It definitely can save a whole lot. So, not getting too deep into the numbers with like what's the cost savings by having a diesel mechanic shop under your guys' wing, so to speak, as part of your business structure.
I can't give you an exact number, but all that labor you pay goes away.
Yeah.
So that money goes back into your pocket. So if your truck grows, say $5,000-$6,000 this week, after payroll, after insurance, after everything else, the money you have left, of course you allocate money for maintenance.
Yeah.
But let's say, the money allocated for maintenance, say, like I may allocate $500 a week.
Okay.
But that could be ate up real quick.
Yeah, that's probably a new tire.
That's it. But now that goes away.
Yeah.
So you kind of get a chance to really start keeping your money.
There you go. That's what it's about.
And also with the shop too, in our network, we have like 35 trucks just collectively between us and friends. So we got enough trucks to keep the shop busy.
Yeah.
On our own. And also we have a feature that I want to speak about, where with this shop we want to do something. It's going to be something different. And I'm going to tell them about the full bay. It's a software that the shop's using, where you don't have to call and check on the truck. You can go into the software and see when the truck is being diagnosed, what's wrong with it. You can see step by step as the truck is being worked on.
Oh, wow.
So, also it's going to be a record keeping piece to it where it keeps up with all your maintenance. So I run into this all the time. I may call this mechanic and ask him, hey, when I did a start on my blue truck, he can't remember. I can't either.
Yeah.
Now everything will be in one space.
Now that's dope. Now is that proprietary to what you guys are creating, or that's something you guys outsource?
That has come from my expertise in automotive industry, and that's how I know about certain softwares and things that you can do.
Okay, gotcha.
And the things that are available. Yeah. I mean, technically, a lot of shops that you see, they're still writing on invoices.
Yeah.
That's just the norm.
I like that. You guys are becoming not just a diesel shop, but like a technology enabled shop as well.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I love that.
Absolutely.
So, man, I'll be buying a semi truck soon, right?
Okay.
What I need to look for, man? I know they got garbage out here now, and it's sky high, and so what are some of the tricks of the trades?
I'm biased.
But first thing you need to look for is a good driver.
You're right.
I'm serious. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Because a driver will make or break you.
Yeah.
I've had trucks where I have this driver in it, and every week it's in the shop.
Yeah.
Then I put this person in it. It don't even go to the shop no more.
Yep.
So that that again, the driver
Yeah.
can and will make or break you.
Not just somebody that's gonna get in it, but somebody that's gonna treat it like it's theirs.
Yes, exactly.
And
Exactly. They're gonna
produce.
pre-trip it. They're gonna check it. They're gonna let you know when they hear something don't sound right.
Yeah.
They see something leaking. They looking at it. That's gonna really, and also somebody gonna get in the truck and work.
Yeah, yeah.
So those two, you have a good driver.
Yeah.
Now we start looking at the truck.
Okay.
As far as like, you want to pretty much put the computer on it.
Okay.
And see what it's been through, and just have a mechanic check all the way through it.
Yeah.
Some stuff you still can't see.
Right.
But you can really, and I also advise doing an oil analysis. A lot of people don't know about the oil analysis, but the oil analysis will let you know how far you are from having to get an in-frame done.
What's that frame?
That's when you get your engine rebuilt.
Okay.
So with these, our trucks, the engine go bad, we don't buy another truck, we just rebuild the engine.
Okay.
But with that,
Then you gotta worry about the labor no more now.
right. But I just did an in-frame not long ago, and it cost me 4 times what I would have normally paid. I normally would have paid for my Freightliners. In-frame might have been $15,000. I paid in excess of $30,000.
Wow.
For this in-frame I just did, because one, parts are scarce now.
Yeah.
The labor is a lot higher. But that oil analysis will let you know, give you an idea if them fluids are mixing or not. So it prints out a graph where you can see, okay, I might have a couple years to run this.
Yeah.
So that oil analysis definitely will save you a whole lot.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier about finding people that's going to want to work. You got 12 trucks, right?
Right.
It's a lot of people to get behind the wheel, right?
Right.
But even more so, you also said that you do local routes.
Right.
Oftentimes, that's like the bread and butter for some people. They want to go local, they be at home with their family. But some people say, okay, you may not make as much money going local over the road. What's your thoughts on that?
I disagree. It depends on the individual and their productivity. Because my guys do pretty decent for local.
Okay.
That's why they're still there. Also, I can say as far as the drivers, 80% of our drivers are returning citizens.
Oh, I love that. Oh, wow.
So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
work ethic is different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
are they fresh out? But that's the difference too.
Well, so not many are fresh out.
Okay.
Because we still need at least 6 months experience for insurance.
Yeah.
But most, if you already had your CDL, like I just hired a guy a couple weeks ago, had his CDL 2 years,
Okay.
but he still couldn't get a job.
Yeah.
So he'd been training with one of my other returning citizens
Yeah.
all this week.
Now, one of the things I was doing, right, is the driver I had, I like to do ownership type thing, right? Hopefully they got the same mindset where it's like you really teaching them how to be owner operators, where you give them a split of the load. Is that something you guys do over at 440 as well, or is more so like what's your model with that?
We pay them similar to that,
Okay.
a real big percentage.
Okay.
But also what we do when they start, I give them the opportunity. If you want to get your own truck, give me a year or two. I'm gonna show you everything I know.
Yeah.
And I'll show them. And like one of the things I do tell them is that not to think so simplistic. Like a lot of them will want to jump and get their own truck.
Yeah.
My advice is always to my guys, hey, first run with me so you can see what we do.
Yeah.
And most of them who see the maintenance I pay,
Yeah.
they're like, I'm good, I just work
Yeah,
for you.
yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
But but also I let them know like if they want to get their own, I'll show them.
Yeah.
And that means if we got to help working on your credit,
Yeah.
how to buy your truck and all of that, we show them. So my advice to them is, don't get out of my truck and buy a truck and get in your own truck, because if that truck breaks down, your income stops.
Yeah.
But how about stay in my truck? I'll show you how to get a truck, and you put a driver in that
There you
truck.
go. Yeah.
Then get you another truck.
Yeah.
After that, once that truck is stable with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
driver, get
Yeah,
another
yeah.
truck,
Yeah.
and then you get in that truck. Now you got 2 incomes, and that way you don't have to worry about ever going backwards.
Yeah. You teach them how to be a boss.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's cold-blooded, man. A lot of people don't do that.
Right.
They want to keep a person with them.
Now my vision, the way I look at it, if I can empower you, we can all grow and work together.
Yeah.
That's, again, if I help all these individuals get into the business and they got their trucks, when I got a bunch of freight I need moved, I can call them.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
We help each other. I mean, more of us doing it, the stronger we can get. I want my guys to be able to get a truck and get a couple of trucks on their own and get somebody else a job.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
You know, so
Each one teach
this is
one.
bigger than me. This company wasn't even about me. It was about
Yeah.
more or less helping them.
And speaking of like moving freight, so are most of your loads coming from a broker or is it more direct manufacturers?
Now we were our contract.
Oh, okay, dope.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Which is why our drivers are making more money
Yeah.
on those local routes than you typically would.
Yeah, it's based off relationships
kind
though.
of-
Yeah.
Right.
You get that. And also capacity. They see that you got 12 trucks, you can you can move it.
Absolutely, and we
Yeah.
running what I call recession-proof freight,
Okay.
grocery.
Oh, okay.
That's the last thing to stop
So
moving.
refrigerated stuff. A lot
We
of
do both,
Okay.
dry and refrigerated.
Okay.
Some. I mean, 'cause we could have a trailer full of chips.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
gonna be dry.
Yeah.
Or we could be moving some meat. But
Okay.
either way, it's going to the grocery store. So,
So how were you able to kind of negotiate those contracts where, you know, you already know, okay, my cost per mile is all right, I know I need to make this. You know your maintenance costs. You've been in it for a while. So sitting at the table with these manufacturers, like, what was your frame of thought, if you will, to say, okay, this is what I need to make sure that we're profitable.
so I didn't really look at any numbers like that.
Okay.
God is just good.
Yeah.
And I got a phone call one day. That's when we were shopping for our Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And the guy called me and said, "Hey man, we need a bunch of trucks over here where I'm
Yeah.
at." And I met him through his nephew.
Okay.
And I was like, "How
So
many
this
do
is
you need?"
one manufacturer or one
Just
shipper?
one, yeah.
Okay.
We run with one
Just
company.
one,
yeah.
that's it, right? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And when he called me that day, I was like, "Okay." I said, "How many you need?" He said, "Like 40." I'm like, "We can't bring that many right now.
Yeah, yeah.
We can bring about 10, not 40."
Did you want to broker the rest of them out though? Was that a thought for you?
But not really, because I still want. I like to get inside the situation and see what's going on before I even think
Okay.
about
Okay,
doing
yeah.
anything else. So
Gotcha.
once he called, we went over there and figured out what was going on and gave the capacity that they needed. And just from showing up every day and being consistent,
Yeah.
they were like, "Hey, we want to do a deal with you. We want
Wow.
to offer you this, and you, let's go."
Yeah.
And that gave us
What they offer you? No, I'm joking with you.
but it gave us a level of consistency,
Okay.
which is the same thing. In trucking, you want consistency. I don't want to make a bunch of money this week and then
Yeah.
something different next week. I want a consistent number where I got an idea.
There you
And
go.
I can manage those numbers off consistency.
So it's dedicated then, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
The route you're doing is dedicated.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Wow.
yeah, so yep, local. And also it helps because like with some of our returning citizens, they may need a travel pass.
Yeah.
So we have to help get them a travel pass. They're not going that far,
And
so
then you know where they're going every day, like the PO knows.
they don't give them a problem.
Yeah,
Yep.
there you go. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So Star, is that like the dedicated, consistent route? Is that where you want to go as well? Like maybe getting corporate accounts with whomever, a Freightliner or some of these big names where you know that we got about this much income coming in from the diesel side of stuff.
Of course, yes.
Right.
I definitely want to establish some relationships. And the diesel shop also, what I'm working on is making a one-stop shop where you can come in and get anything that you need from your truck.
Okay.
So it may not necessarily be something that we may do.
Yeah.
If I may not have a mechanic that can replace a windshield
Yeah.
or a glass, but I have a company that I will sublet it out to.
Okay.
So they'll come and do it. Tires, even roadside. We'll be offering roadside
Oh, wow.
as well eventually, yes.
Wow.
So anything that it needs,
Yeah, I see.
I want to be that one-stop shop where they can come here and we'll have an open line where they can call and then we can,
Yeah.
send somebody if they have a breakdown or anything like that.
Oh wow.
So that's what I've been working on now. I've been working on
Yeah.
establishing relationships with all these different type of
yeah.
vendors.
You guys just opened up, right? Like a
It's
couple
not-
months ago.
No, it didn't open.
Oh, okay.
They became behind for the construction.
Okay.
We had did a soft grand opening.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was more like just a barbecue because it was
yeah.
it was on Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
I wanted to do throw a little barbecue at the shop, but it was supposed to be the grand opening.
Yeah.
But once I found out that it would not actually be a grand opening, I wouldn't be able to cut the ribbon. I just did like a little barbecue. I still had it, and people came out because it still brought awareness to the shop
Yeah,
to
there
let
you go,
people know
yeah.
they were coming.
Yeah.
So the mayor was there,
Yeah.
the
I've
sheriff,
seen that,
and
yeah.
So it turned out good, and he even wants us to do like another one. So
Yeah.
I'll be doing another grand opening somewhere next month.
Yeah. Well, one thing I know is y'all visionaries, right? And so is this shop part of like a franchise system you guys want to kind of build out?
Absolutely.
Before we go to that though,
Yeah.
I want to talk to the truckers about this one-stop shop because
Yeah.
I really want to make sure they understand what we're doing is what's going on in the 16th phase. You break down. How many of y'all don't know who to call? We don't. You
Yeah,
jump on
yeah.
Google. You like,
Yeah.
who do I call? You can call us. We're gonna do all that for you.
Right.
We're gonna hook up whatever you need. If you in California and you need a tire replaced, call us.
Okay.
We have the networks in place. We gonna take care of that for you. You just sit tight. They'll be there.
We'll send somebody over there.
Yeah, because that's panic mode right there. Especially
You know what I'm
when
saying?
you're on that road, you got that load up under you.
So we want to give you
Yeah.
one place to call, and you ain't got to panic. No, just call. We on top of it.
Yeah.
You know, that's you know, I just want to speak more about that so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they
'Cause
know
everybody's
about
That's
not offering
that
that.
value add though. You know,
Yeah.
you know, I definitely would want something like that.
And then the other thing is also because you're dealing with 16 phase.
Yeah.
No matter what state you're in, if we do that call for you, it
Yeah.
goes into our software.
Okay.
So you can still track the maintenance on your truck,
There
and
you go.
also we can help with that because this what happens also. When the truck goes down and you call roadside, they're gonna ask. You may say, "Hey, my truck won't start." Oh, it might be the starter. They're guessing over the phone.
Yeah.
But with us, we calling for you. We can see what's been replaced on that truck
that's dope.
already.
Oh, yeah.
So we can say, "No, it's not the starter. We did that on
Yeah.
May 31st. It's not the starter." So
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying? We can minimize that guesswork.
Yeah, y'all own the something
So-
with that. I like that.
Yeah.
Now
So-
is that
This is a
part of
different-
like a subscription model? I pay every month to get that, in addition to my cost of
Absolutely,
repairing the
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
be a membership.
Yep.
membership. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I knew y'all was visionary.
Oh, that's for all our customers. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Well, I mean, the goal is it's woman owned. I want it to be as such. I want it to be
Yeah.
organized.
Yeah.
I want it to look like it.
Yeah.
But also, I want to offer what's not out there. Give something that no other mechanic shop is doing. You can't go down the street or the Freightliner to get this. You can't go down there to get this. You
Yeah.
can get your truck fixed and that's it.
So y'all centralizing everything.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a hell of a system.
Yeah.
I like that.
And that will be franchisable.
Yeah, yeah.
You about to get to that?
Yeah. No, I like
I want,
that.
yes.
So hold on. What would be franchisable?
The whole
Like
thing,
that?
the whole
The
16
program.
phase, yes.
Not the diesel shops, but
See,
the
no, the
actual
diesel shop.
software. Okay.
The
The
shop.
diesel shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I'm just saying, everything that we're adding,
Yeah.
all of that will go into the
Yeah.
the next one.
But I'm gonna tell you something though. That software, that's where that value is at.
Right.
You know what I mean? Outside of the physical, place,
Right.
but that's what's really gonna give y'all that valuation.
Oh yeah, oh
You know what I
definitely.
mean? I'm sure y'all know.
Because
that
the only
already.
places you find that type of
And-
stuff is if you go to Volvo,
Yeah.
Cummings, or
Yeah.
Freightliner, you'll have that software and it prints out this stuff or
Yeah.
it prints a history. You don't typically get that in your
Smaller,
regular
kinda
store.
like mom and pop.
Exactly,
Yeah.
your mom and pop stores. You won't get
Do you
that.
think that comes from just like because you got the experience, right? Or is it experience, or is it like the lack of financial resources to be able to create or even lease something like that?
It could be that they just don't know about it because
Okay, yeah.
I knew about it. I told him about it, and he was like, "Man, that's dope."
Yeah.
Because the only reason why I knew about it is because I worked in automotive
Yeah.
basically all my life.
Yeah.
Once I got out of working from Applebee's, to take care of my daughter,
Yeah.
I went into the automotive field, and
Yeah.
that's where I had been.
Yeah.
And so I actually retired and left there and just did full time on my businesses and
Yeah,
focused
yeah.
on my stuff. But people, they're not offering that, and a lot of people don't know about it. So.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of
But
drivers, truckers
God
want
works in
that.
mysterious ways. All of
Yeah.
that was God. I mean, because I tried to get out of the automotive industry.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sick of this. I can't never take off at the end of the month.
Yeah.
I can't do this. I'm stuck. And I tried to get out, and I was like, no. He kept
Yeah.
pushing me back in. I went to college, got me a degree,
Yeah.
and I came back and said, okay, now get me a job. Still couldn't get anything. So I kept on, and then he moved me from Nissan. I had been working at Nissan forever.
Yeah.
And I moved to Kia. And once I moved to Kia and gained that knowledge, all that experience I gained that I was trying to throw away, God had a bigger plan. He
Yeah.
already knew what he had destined
for
for me.
sure.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I had gotten into the trucking business 2 years ago. So, and he was surprised at how quickly that had grown, about how many trucks I was able to get so fast.
Yeah.
And I was like, I saw that maintenance bill. I'm like, we got to get this deal shop. I'm going
Yeah.
for it. And I started looking for buildings and everything.
What was that process like? Because I know that's zoning. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a whole piece within itself.
It
so
was.
So how were you able to that journey to get over that?
It was a lot. The most frustrating part about it was every person that I called, they kept calling me back and said, hey, you're inquiring about this diesel shop? Well, I just want to let you know it leased out last week. Like every place that I called, either they didn't answer the phone or
Yeah.
it wasn't available.
Right.
So I found this place. It was a brand new building. And once again, it was my small thinking because what I was looking for was just, 1 bay or maybe 2 bays.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, something small, something nothing too crazy.
Yeah, right, yeah. Something you can manage.
Right. But God had other plans once again.
Yeah.
He said,
yeah.
He told you think it's too small.
Yeah.
This shop is massive. 12,000 square feet. It has 5 bays. It has a whole big showroom area.
Yeah.
It has office space, two restrooms, and then we'll have a separate the 5th bay. At first, I wanted to do a wash so you can get a truck with a wash, but I also see dualies is actually really growing right now. A lot of people are starting to get into dualies, so that 5th bay down there would be strictly for dualies.
Okay.
So it'll be semis and dualies that we'll be working on.
So 5 years, where we at? 16 phase.
Oh, we're gonna have some 16 phase gonna be all around. You go.
Oh yeah, we'll have diesel mechanic school.
Yeah.
All of that. Several shops.
So again, that community base, and then on top of that, there's a component where it's like reform work as well, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They can come in there and get if they want to become a mechanic, they'll come in there and get enrolled into that program, which will be tagging along with our mechanics. They'll be teaching them, how to do everything, and sign them up in classes. That's what I'm looking for now, to see about different classes that we'll be able to take and offer and send them to, and they can get there. They'll become a certified diesel mechanic.
Yeah, 440. Where we at? 5 years.
Oh man, all the way up there.
Yeah.
All the way up there. We're gonna continue to add more trucks and grow, just grow everything that we're doing.
Yeah.
Just continue to grow it.
So you thinking about any brokerage, or just strictly kind of what your lane?
I'm not really thinking about brokerage.
Okay.
Pretty much just growing the trucks, continue to just create an opportunity.
Okay.
That's mainly the broker thing. I did a little bit of it.
Okay.
Didn't work out for neither one of us.
Yeah, I'm good on the broker.
And what's kind of an issue right now that I've been hearing about, a challenge for a lot of new drivers, right? Maybe even experienced drivers, like that whole out of service violations, like being in compliance, right?
Yes.
So how are you as a fleet owner, right? You never been on the road though, right? So it's a different vibe. Someone that's been on the road, it's a different experience. So how are you able to like convey that to your drivers? Like, hey, look, you need to do A, B, C, D, E, because you get popped on this road, my insurance prices go up. So how are you able to kind of control that and just making sure that drivers doing the right thing and staying in compliance where you ain't getting shut down?
Right. Well, we try to vet the drivers as best we can. Again, most of them are returning citizens, so it's kind of like, hey, we're not gonna mess this up either.
Yeah.
So they kind of, they're watching what they're doing as well. So we haven't really had. I mean, everybody's been pretty compliant.
Okay.
Everybody's been pretty compliant. But what I will say, for people wanting to get their feet wet, I think it's best when you first starting out to lease on, because the company you lease to take the brunt of that responsibility, and you can get it. I was leased on for many years before I got my authority.
Let's break down that to the audience that may not know.
Okay.
What a lease on, what that would look like.
Like say a company, say you could go to Brewster Logistics and say, hey, I want to lease a truck on at Brewster, and he say do a breakdown of what they'll pay you, but all the responsibility is on Brewster as far as compliance and so forth. So they'll make sure the truck and the driver's compliant. You get a chance to get in there and learn the business. Yeah. Because oftentimes people jump in with authorities too soon. Mm-hmm. I did it. I had my first authority. I didn't even take the name of it. Right, but it's violations everywhere. We didn't know. Yeah. So I learned through being leased on how to navigate through that.
Yeah. No, I like that, man. That approach where it's like you can connect with somebody who already got the experience. They already got whether it's even with fuel cards,
all of that.
Whether it's the dispatching, 24-hour roadside maintenance. All those are like the benefits, you know. I think oftentimes too we get caught up in having our own MC number. You know what I mean? Our own authority, right?
That's
nothing you know to do with it.
You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not. You still a business owner, right? You still got your DOT or whatever. You still can make a decent amount of money. So I think that hearing that can really kind of change the dynamics and let people see that you can do something differently and still be in the trucking industry. You know, because I'm second guessing it now. You know, I'm like, man, MC, like it ain't always cracked up to be. You know what I mean? I have a situation where I'm working with a reputable company that I can lease on to where it's fair. You know what I mean? Oftentimes, it don't have to be the best deal. It got to be fair. You know, it's a win-win for everybody. And so if it's like that and you know your numbers, you go win.
So we have a company also that we have S&S Consultants. That's a consulting company that if a person wants to get a truck,
Yeah.
like they just strictly for an investment. They're not driving.
Yeah.
They don't even want to know the driver. We do that as well.
Okay.
And all of those trucks, the way I do it, I lease them on to a company where I have a contract
There you
because
go.
the insurance is a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So it's not as bad. They ain't not paying $1,500-$1,600 a
Yeah.
month in insurance. The insurance leased on is like $200 a month.
Right.
So it gives them a lot of room for error
Yeah.
to get in and learn, and and also lower the expectations. So when they get in, they're not spending so much.
Right.
You learn it, because see, trucking bills ain't like regular bills. So when some of my clients first get in, I'm like, hey, you need about $10,000
Yeah.
put up for maintenance. We got to run the king side of this truck.
Yeah.
When they get that first bill for about $3,500, they be ready to quit. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm out of here. But we're used to seeing that.
Yeah.
We'll spend $4,000-$5,000 in no time.
Yeah.
But so just get them adjusted to that,
Yeah.
and that can also scale a new person.
Yeah.
You get that big bill, and I've seen people get a big bill, leave the truck where it was at.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to me, like a truck gonna always make money. So as long as you take care of it, it's gonna make you money.
But how you told me when he told me when I came in, he said, "Look, don't get your own authority." I'm telling you,
Yeah.
because
Right.
what we're taught basically is when you come in, you're like, okay, I get my truck, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get an MC number, my
Yeah.
authority. That's the first thing that
Yeah.
comes to our head. This is what we have to do. This is what you line up. But he told me not to do that, so I followed his lead, and
Yeah.
that's how I believe how I was successful before. First and foremost, God,
Yeah.
but he put him in my life. He put him there right at that perfect time,
Yeah.
because with that knowledge that he had and that he had given and passed on to me, it saved me from a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
So I went and leased on, like he said, because he also told me that he said you get a good driver, and a good driver can help build your authority.
Yeah.
A lot of people just go and get these authorities, and you can't even depend on this driver. He might even go not even pick up the load.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or
So
when you do pick up the low, he's smacking someone.
Or hit-
Right.
Yeah. So
right. So they mess up your insurance. All of
Yeah.
that stuff makes a big, it's accountable. So he told me not to do that, and I followed his lead, and when I did get a very, very good driver.
Yeah.
And I did get
That's
my
key.
authority within a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Within a year of my me owning my first trucks,
Yeah.
first two actually. I got my own authority, and I was able to build on it with this driver because it's really, really good.
Yeah.
And that's how I got in there. But if it wasn't for that driver or for what he was telling me, I would have stayed leased on.
Yeah.
But
So
I started seeing different
the
numbers.
S&S consultant, that whole model, what it sounds like, what I like about it is that you're leasing on to somebody, right? And then you get some other people so you really kind of hands off. Just like those investors that spending money to kind of give you the hands, like, hey, look, just give me a truck, and I don't want to talk to the driver. You kind of doing the same thing, right? You passing it along to the plug, so to speak.
Right.
And they probably taking 15% of it to do all the insurance and all those different kind of things. Where it's like you don't have to go out and look for loads because they probably dispatch it for you, right?
Well, actually, they are part of my contract.
Right.
So I run them at the same company.
Oh, the same
The
company
same
that
company.
you got the
that company leases trucks also.
Oh, okay.
So we
you
run
double
both sides of it. Yeah, we run both
Okay,
sides
yeah.
of it. So
Okay.
the clients I have, they're leased on to the same
Okay.
company, running local,
There
running
you go. I
grocery.
like that. Yeah.
So it's the same thing, just the insurance is
yeah,
cheaper.
yeah. I love that, man. Because it's like you taking something that you already doing on your own,
Mm-hmm.
right? You running the day to day of it with your own driver, your company driver
Right.
that you got, right? It's like, okay, let me present this opportunity to other people that don't want to do everything that I'm doing. I'm gonna plug them into what I already got going.
Mm-hmm. Right, and they get a check. They get a check every week.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's big, sometimes it all depends on the driver. But
Right.
that's what I deal. I'm hands on with the driver, so
Yeah.
I manage the driver for them, all of that. So they pretty much just
So you
Get a
take
settlement
like
and a
a
check.
dispatch fee, or how does that work?
yeah. I charge a fee.
Okay, is it like a percentage of the load?
No, it's a percentage of the week
Oh, okay.
for the whole week. Whatever that truck did that week, it's not necessarily by the load.
Okay.
It's just by whatever it did that week.
Okay.
And I charge a percentage.
But one
for
thing
that.
they know is that they got a dedicated situation, or do they even know all that information?
They don't even know.
Okay. All right.
They don't know. They just know that.
They just know they got a
I'm
check
getting a
coming
settlement and a
every-
check.
every week.
That's
right?
it.
And he call, and they get them phone calls. The radiator gonna be $1,700.
Right.
You know.
Hey, and let me guess, right? Since you got the whole vertical integration thing going on with the diesel shop, you can say, hey, I also got a shop where, you know what I mean, they kind of give you discounts on the mechanic service.
Absolutely. If they're one of my clients, they're gonna
They're
get
gonna
a
get all
discount.
that, yeah.
There was some
That's
of them
one
actually
of the perks.
Huh?
You know,
Yeah.
I said there some of the of our clients there was
They,
like
were
they
at
were
the,
in
they
opening.
came to the grand opening. Yeah, they know.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
a soft grand opening because
Yeah.
it was a barbecue.
I'm gonna have to tap in with y'all.
Come through.
No, I love it though, man. That's a great thing, man. Y'all doing your thing, and I love to see that dynamic. You know what I mean? That family,
Yeah.
that unity where y'all can, you know, you got your lane, he got his lane, but y'all helping each other at the same time.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So we about to end this podcast, right? But I don't want to end without the people knowing where they can reach out to y'all at, where they can tap in and potentially even be a part of SAS Consulting, be a driver, whatever, right? So let's talk to the audience.
You can find me on social media at 440 Trucking LLC. I'm horrible at social media. You're probably better off emailing me
Yeah.
at Kevin@440trucking.com. I forget to get on social media. I do. And yours is what?
My social media, my IG is star_blaze BLAISE. You can reach 16 Face Diesel at 16 Face Diesel on Instagram.
And also 440 Trucking LLC. My Instagram is spelled FOURFOURTY Trucking LLC. I spell 40 with a U in it. That's my daily reminder
Okay.
that you make the difference in how your life turns out, nobody else. A lot of times we want to blame external circumstances about why we didn't make it, why we couldn't do this, but we start with us.
Yeah.
We can get through all of that. We can escape those odds.
There you go. Hey, you must have been reading my mind. I was definitely going to the hey, drop me some wisdom, man, right? You know what I mean? We connected like that. So, what you got for the audience? Give them some wisdom, something they can live with and kind of take, you know, and reach the stars with.
Yeah, I mean, when you want to get in the trucking industry, you know, do your research. It's very lucrative. You can make a lot of money, but they also cost a lot. So I would just say do your research and see what you're getting into and making sure that that's what you want to do, because we've had some clients that some trucks we bought. That's how we got to that number 12 because they get into it and they see that, you know, it's a lot that goes into it. It's not just about running a truck or putting a driver in a truck, running some loads and becoming a millionaire. It's a lot more to go into that.
Oh, I love it. And as far as me, words of wisdom, thinking outside the box. One thing I can appreciate about this couple is that you're taking something that the diesel shop, right? Typically, it's just a regular, you know, kind of shop. You got the software attached to it. All these different ancillary or added values that's going to really separate you guys from the bunch. And even with the 440, right? You took something. All right, I got a situation going, but let me provide an opportunity to other people that don't want to do what I'm doing.
Right. Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and being able to eat off that with almost like a hands-off approach, like a passive situation. I see you, man, and I love it, right? And so that's what I got for y'all, just thinking outside the box, being creative, just being innovative at the same time. It's your boy, _Aaron Smith, the Urban Trucker Podcast, changing the face of trucking. We doing our thing, Escaping the Odds Media produced. Let's go, and talk to y'all soon. Make sure y'all tap into YouTube, Instagram, and even on Facebook, LinkedIn. We pretty much everywhere. Check out the Urban Trucker Podcast.
Yeah, I see that. I see
T-shirts,
that. I see
right?
that.
Hey, we ain't rappers, we ain't athletes.
I see
We're
that.
urban truckers, right? Whether you're a dispatcher, whether you're a broker, whether you own a diesel shop, let's get it and continue to change the face of it and inspire, and let's make it happen. Peace.